Hello and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean.
It's really cold here, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, not like polar vortex cold, but it's still like 5 degrees or something this morning.
Yeah, we're rocking single digits lately.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's been weird because sometimes...
We're not used to it.
You being from Colorado, you're not...
Well,
you
I'm originally from here, but we haven't lived in this sort of environment for 8 years.
Yeah, it's been quite some time since we've had to experience the frigidness of actual snow.
Yeah. Sean's been seeing all sorts of snows.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
It really is. It's strange that like 6 months ago we were living in California where it never snows.
Right. I mean, it does up in like Big Bear and stuff, but, but where like, we were.
Southern California doesn't happen there.
Yeah.
It doesn't get rarely gets below 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And then you're lucky if that happens, and we're talking like in the main area, the main, valley and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like here, it gets cold.
Yep.
It's different.
It is.
It's definitely different.
And not only that, but there can be like a 20, 30 degree difference between like daytime and nighttime.
Yeah. No, and also...
And that happens in the summer too.
Well, we were out during the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting outside, in the morning,
It was nice. It was probably like 42 degrees, 43 degrees, like sun shining.
Yeah.
It was fine. And we're like, great. A little chilly, but it'll be fine. So we're out. And all of a sudden, like, we were at an outlet store or whatever. And I went in to use the bathroom. And I came out and I was like, the wind had started blowing. And I was like, what? Oh, it must have kicked up a bunch of dust. It wasn't dust. It was snowing while the sun was out.
Yeah. But it got really cold.
It dropped probably like 10, 15 degrees in less than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the snow just blew in out of nowhere. It was freaking crazy.
Yeah.
But that's Colorado for you.
Yeah, it was really strange.
That's how it is out here.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't care much for that.
No, because we were out in it. I was like, God damn it.
But but that's kind of what we've been up to. Got to see a bunch of movies over the past couple of days.
Oh yes, we saw questionable leading man Liam Neeson's newest movie, Cold Pursuit. Speaking of living in Colorado during the winter, apparently that's where this movie takes place, but I would like to say that whoever filmed this movie has never even seen a picture of Colorado.
There's a lot, yeah, I mean...
I was like, no, it doesn't look like that at all.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny that... I think that's the reason why a lot of people went to go see it.
Oh, what? Here?
The theater, at least.
Well, yeah, because it's supposed to be Colorado, and everybody in the theater is like, no. Like, the people next to us were like, that doesn't look anything like it.
Well, I mean, there's parts where, like, they're, because, like, we live, within reasonable proximity of Castle Rock.
Uh-huh.
And they show, like, the...
Well, no, they don't show Castle Rock.
They show the... Yes, they do. There's that one rock.
Don't. That's not Castle Rock. They're supposed to be in the mountains. That's just a rock.
I thought that was the Castle Rock.
No, because they live in, like, some little town... like that's supposed to be in the mountains like 3 hours away from Denver, where apparently it's Trail Ridge Road constantly, which is the only place like it really snows, like 10 feet of snow or whatever, and then they shut the roads down. But like Liam Neeson like literally plows every single day through about 15 feet of new snow, and but there's nothing there. There's no trees, nothing, but there's a waterfall that hasn't frozen over for some reason that he gets to dump dead bodies down.
Yeah. Basically,
yeah, it was a fucking wild movie. I was just like, wait, what?
Well, basically, without giving talking,
it's too absurd. Much, it's actually enjoyable.
It turned out to be a much more absurd movie than I
expected.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I didn't know because I thought it was going to be just like a straight Taken type thing, or The Gray, or The Commuter,
like, just like a straight like Liam Neeson's Seeking Vengeance.
Well, that's what I mean. The Commuter. The Gray, to any of the Taken movies, any movie he's been doing lately, and it's it's kind of weird. It's a little off kilter, which is kind of fun. But then there's a lot of like time to drive into Denver scenes where they literally show like the city in the distance and them driving what would probably be I-70 into town, and there's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
There's no stores, there's no trees, there's nothing. And I'm like, that doesn't look anything like there's no other buildings.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no traffic, and you're like, oh yeah, you fucking wish it looked like that.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's Denver's a pretty busy city. I don't know if you guys
pretty
knew
busy.
that. It's kind of a big deal.
Well, that's the thing. It's the most populous city between here and Chicago.
Yeah.
Or between LA and Chicago.
There's some weirdness going on in that movie, and it's worth your time just to see it if you don't really care much for those Liam Neeson vengeance movies, and
yeah, it's weird.
You can give it a pass, but it's interesting.
Also, marvel at the lead villain's attempt of doing an American accent when he so obviously is not American.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was
like a guttural grunt the entire time. He was very gravelly voice.
It was the most earnest attempt at an American accent since Jonathan Rhys Meyers in Dracula.
Oh yeah, except with more gravel. It was like if Jonathan Rhys Meyers was in Dracula but gargling stones.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all sorts of it's such a movie. It's kind of, you're like, oh, okay, he's going to find his, avenge his son, but then he kidnaps a kid, and then
there's like some Quentin Tarantino-esque title cards in the middle.
Then there's like a Native American turf war going on.
Yeah, something happens there where they're like, dude gets killed by the plow because he gets sucked into it. Yeah, and well, there was also this one part where they were just like, here in this mountain ski town, where the Native American reservation is, they built a casino. I'm like, the only reservations we have are like down south.
Yeah,
there's none in the mountains. I don't think there are, but we do have casinos, but they are not on Native American land.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
yeah,
whatever you want to say, movie.
Yeah, but it's pretty silly.
Yeah.
There were some previews too. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, what did we see for previews? Thank God we didn't see that stupid dog preview.
Oh, I know. Well, I think that's already been in theaters. And,
good. Gone, and I don't have to watch it.
I think we're past that.
Did we see Captain Marvel?
No, they didn't show that.
Okay. Well, that's coming out soon. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, they showed this Dennis Quaid won't leave his house movie.
Dennis Quaid turns into a creepy killer movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that one's...
He won't leave the house he sold to this couple, and then he just keeps terrorizing them?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And then he just like randomly pops up in the background all the time.
Well, it's funny because the movie's called Intruder. I was like, why don't you just call it The Guy Who Won't Leave My House? Just call it that.
I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, there's we're not quite to the blockbusters yet.
No.
But we're getting there. Captain Marvel should be a treat.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, I finally saw a Shazam poster because I feel like the trailer for that came out and then like nothing happened.
It's coming out,
but it's coming out in April, so it's like sandwiched between Captain Marvel and the Avengers.
But I feel like you would think.
I feel like I'd see more advertising, but I don't see any for it.
Just more of a bigger push because I feel like Captain Marvel has been like they've been pumping that movie since like before Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. That's why like Shazam had that trailer. What like
it was like in the summer. Yeah, it was like Comic-Con.
I was like, wow, this looks really great. And then I feel like nothing else happened.
Well,
unless I've totally missed it.
There was like another trailer that came out, like another something a bit more extended that came out I think around Christmas. But I feel like just the buzz for it is not like you would think. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, Aquaman kind of went under the radar, and then it came out, and everybody saw it. A bunch of people saw it, and it did really well.
Yeah, and it was good.
And Aquaman. Yeah, I mean, for what it was, Aquaman was good.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was a good movie. Shazam looks definitely to be.
I'm excited to see Shazam.
Well, because it's not.
And I don't even like Shazam.
It's not your usual. Yeah, Shazam is not my thing.
Yeah, he's not my thing either. Because why? It's a story about a child. I don't like stories about kids. I didn't even like stories about kids when I was a kid, except the Goonies.
I've never really enjoyed the character that much. It's
because he's a kid.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, I've never had any interest to be like, oh, I must buy that Shazam comic. It's really like the most important thing that Shazam holds to me is the superpowers figure that is hard to come by, and I would really like it at one point, but I don't have it.
I don't think I've ever even seen it.
You don't see it very often. It's came out in the third series, and it's one of those ones like Mr. Miracle or Cyborg. You don't they fetch a pretty price, especially on Men on Card. But it was we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we'll.
But I am excited to see it, which is again surprising for me. I had such an aha moment a couple years ago. I forget what I was doing. I was like talking to somebody about like what I didn't like about whatever, and it dawned on me that what I didn't like about everything I was talking about was the main character was a child, and I don't like stories about kids. I've never liked stories about kids.
Yeah, no,
and I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Do you like the Goonies?
I do like the Goonies. That's kind of more of a comedy.
But it's a story about kids.
It is a story about kids. That is an exception.
But they're more teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like about like
children.
Yeah. I mean, you can talk about. I mean, but Goonies is more like, hey, here's a bunch of scrappy, 12 to 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Doing stuff.
Well, so I started watching The Americans.
Yeah.
In The Americans, they have children. Every once in a while, they'll show a scene just with the kids. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't. Go away, children. Don't. Let's go back to your parents killing everybody, please.
Yeah.
Because you guys and the girl going to church and the boy breaking into the neighbor's house so he can play Nintendo, I don't give a fuck.
Ooh, like Action Nintendo?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's a Nintendo. It looks more like an Atari.
Wait, is it set in the 80s?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, The Americans in the 80s.
I thought it was a current show.
No, it can't be. It wouldn't make... I mean... Let's be honest. Apparently the Cold War never ended, and we are just the only ones who didn't know that. But as we saw with our election, but it's set in the 80s about two KGB agents who pose as Americans to do covert ops, and they're supposed to be like a married couple, and they have kids, but they're like going on all these ops and stuff. So it's set in the, I think, 1982, 83.
Are there kids agents too?
No, their kids are just American kid. Like they're actually their biological children, but they're raised as American children. And I'm like, how does that work? That's the thing. I'm like, how does this, what kind of, like, what's the end game? Because what are you going to do? Like, go back to Russia with the two kids who've always loved American capitalism? Like, what's going on?
Do they speak at all with Russian accents?
No. But that's the whole point. Like that they look exactly like Americans and they sound exactly like Americans. Their English is impeccable. You cannot tell the difference.
Okay.
That's the whole thing.
Americans.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. And they put on, there's a lot of wigs in that show.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of disguises, a lot of fake mustaches and big glasses.
The kids have no idea.
The kids have no idea. Well, the daughter's starting to figure it out. It's the end of season 1, but
okay.
The kids have no idea.
There's Atari.
There is a video game system that I got a glance of, but it was not a Nintendo.
But the parents won't let them have a Nintendo or an Atari.
No.
That sucks.
No.
Well, I didn't have a Nintendo till I was like 10.
Yeah, but these kids are old. These kids would have been born in like the late 60s, early 70s, so they're older than we are. Because this is like 1983 and the girl's like 15.
She would be born in the 70s.
No, she would have been born probably in 68.
Wait, 15?
If she's 15 in 1983?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Atari. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's no Nintendo yet. Like I said, I think it's like 1983.
Well, you said Nintendo. I got all excited.
I don't. It was a video game system that I got literally 2 seconds of screen time. I don't know what the fuck it was. In like a Z plot while everybody else is getting their heads blown off.
Z plots are the best. That's all I care about is that's the thing.
Everybody else is getting bullets to the head, and this kid's just playing a fucking video game.
That's how I operate. I'm usually paying more attention to the things that aren't important.
I don't know if he was playing an actual video game. They never really show it. So
it's like this show that's one of these episodes. I'm like, what games are they playing?
Oh, I'm gonna have to show Sean that episode just so he can look at the video game system. and figure out what it is.
Oh,
and be like, oh, I know what game that is. It was pink on screen. Does that help you?
Were they playing a Pepto-Bismol game?
Yeah, yes, it was the Pepto-Bismol game. Because nothing says capitalism more than buy Pepto-Bismol and take it.
If we're talking 1983, we're close to the video game crash. It's possible because a lot of the game, when video game crash came out, became a part of one of the factors that brought it about was were companies producing games that had no business producing games. So like Purina produced a game about like
dogs?
Eating dog food,
like feeding dogs,
or feeding dog, or like it was like Chow Train or something, and there was like a train. So Pepto Bismol might have produced a game where it was like bleh,
Yeah, that sounds right. Actually, I'd really like to play that Purina game if I have to feed dogs.
Yeah, no.
Is that like Tapper but with dogs?
I think so. No, I don't think it's.
You're just doing it as quickly as you can. All these hungry dogs. It's like Neko Atsume, but like the original version, the retro version of Neko Atsume.
Oh, but where you just feed animals?
Yes, because that's exactly what you did in Neko Atsume.
Oh, I haven't checked my Neko Atsume in years.
I'm sure those cats are dead.
I kind of hope I log on and it's just a bunch of like
skeletons. No, they go to other people's yards.
And the grass is really high. There's a car in there for some reason. I didn't put it there.
It's
like that guy next door to us in L.A. And I remember when we lived in North Hollywood, and there was that guy.
The Skugit man.
He had a Skugit because he had cats on his top, on his roof and stuff. But he also had
that dude's house was falling apart,
and he never wore a shirt.
Yeah, he was an old man who never wore a shirt. He had about 6 cats.
Yeah.
And they were always on the roof, and we would say, hi, Skoogits. And his house was literally like, there were holes in the roof.
Well, because it was funny, it was interesting because...
it was such a weird...
I think there's a house across the street, too.
No, you know what it was? He was the holdout.
Well, right, yeah, clearly. But I think there was another house across the street. And that towards the end, towards the back, like there's another random house that wasn't in bad condition. But
oh, okay, maybe I don't remember that.
I remember that because there was like
I just remember like this fucking dead end in a stupid plastics factory.
Right, but then between the plastics factory were like these two.
I don't even know if it was a factory. I think it might have been a storage.
No, I think they did plastics.
Well, I know they did plastics, but I feel like they just stored plastics there because I never smelled anything.
That's true. You know what? Yeah, you're right.
So because LA is weird and is like you can literally have a giant, perhaps plastics factory next to an apartment building and nobody says anything. You can also have houses in the middle of oil fields, which there fucking are. And you're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Because LA's weird. So we lived in North Hollywood and the first street we moved into was a dead end. And it was our apartment building, this house, this plastics factory, and then the dead end of the street.
Yeah.
So it was like this... We'd have this huge, and the fucking street was so thin, so narrow, but these giant 18-wheelers would come down it.
Oh, yeah.
And like, because they had to drop things off or pick things up. But there was that old man who just like refused to give up his house because I'm assuming they must have bought everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And put up all those apartment buildings.
They put up those apartment buildings, yeah.
But he just refused to go, but that house was a fucking mess, and it literally did look like a blighted area.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure that guy's a hoarder.
Uh-huh.
And he had cats.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
It was exciting to see a cat, yes.
It was always exciting because we got to see which cats were out.
Yeah. It was like real life Neko Atsume.
Yeah. Well, this is Welcome to Cat Talk with Sean and Jen.
Well, Cat Talk is always... That's
literally our lives.
Because we have Harley walking around now.
Oh, he's cute.
He's getting used to the house. He's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's all they are.
Pain in the ass.
Oh, he's cute.
But trying to think. Also, speaking of Liam Neeson movies, just to kind of.
Oh yeah, you bought that thing.
We went to Second and Charles just before we went to go see the movie.
Yep, because I got to buy more disaster books. Come here, sweetheart.
And I just happened to. It's the first time probably I didn't buy anything crazy, but I just happened to find Darkman because for some reason I was thinking about Darkman. That I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
No, but I was like, you know what? If I can find it, maybe I'll buy it. Because I don't normally buy physical DVDs or whatever. But Second Charles got them cheap or whatever. So they had all 3 of the Darkman movies released, and it was like $6. Huh. So I picked that up and I watched Darkman for the first time. It's a Sam Raimi movie. definitely a Sam Raimi movie. It's not bad. You know, there was a part where I hit because I was using the PlayStation, so I accidentally hit like the skip ahead. So I think I missed a portion of the movie, like a small portion.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, what happened here? But nonetheless, though, if you've never seen Darkman, basically Liam Neeson is a scientist that's trying to create like a bunch of skin. And for some reason, Frances McDormand, who's his girlfriend, is like, gets him implicated in some sort of racketeering plot, and he ends up, there's like a memorandum or something that's like he's in possession of for some reason, but he gets mixed up in it, and he ends up, Liam Neeson ends up getting his face shoved in acid and his hands burned. The building explodes, and he gets thrown into the water, and somehow they find him still alive, and they do some sort of like operation on him, or something happens to him where he can't feel pain, even though his skin is completely like, he's super charred.
Does he start screaming, "Oh, my skin"?
No, sadly he does not.
That's too bad.
And then he but he also has like super strength and shit, so he like escapes from the hospital and goes to like get vengeance and stuff, and he finds out how to create the skin. But the skin's only good for like 100 minutes. So after 100 minutes,
that's pointless.
Right?
I mean, it's not.
It's only good for 100 minutes.
Can't really go anywhere
in the daytime. At night, because it's something to do with like the sun or whatever. He's able to do better at night. But yeah,
I was gonna say, you go to a really long movie, you're not gonna have any skin by the time you leave.
Yeah,
which is most movies.
No skin?
No skin by the time you leave.
So, yeah, but then there's also a lot of like random like swearing in it too, which is kind of funny.
Good.
I think it's worth it. It's definitely we'll have to watch it again. Okay. I think it's worth a watch because I feel like our buddies We Hate Movies at some point might do it just for the fuck of it. Because it's not a great movie, but it's it's a stupid movie. And there's a bunch of sequels that Liam Neeson wasn't in, but those do exist. And maybe at some point I'll watch those because I have them all. I have the entire Darkman trilogy.
Oh man,
in my possession.
Very exciting.
So yeah.
I just bought books about terrible things. I bought a book about the real life story of a floating brothel.
Like in the air?
No, like a boat.
Oh, okay.
The Floating Brothel, the extraordinary true story of an 18th century ship and its cargo of female convicts. Excited for that. Sounds feel good. And Dead Wake, the last crossing of the Lusitania, which we all know got sunk by a U-boat.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be a horrible, horrible story. Can't wait.
My wife.
Yeah, something's wrong with your wife.
Real quick, so just, you know what? I don't really know for certain if this is true. But I think I saw an article about it. Was it Armie Hammer is? I
saw that too.
In the
running to play Batman.
Yeah, I guess.
But
he's
wasn't he
close.
Before
probably
Affleck was cast?
I'm certain he was. He was.
I don't know. He's a square-jawed white guy.
He was
about right.
He was definitely. He had to have definitely been in the running because Social Network was already came and went by that time. I think Lone Ranger was already maybe was already out too, or Man from U.N.C.L.E. too. I forgot about that.
Oh, he was in that.
Yeah.
Oh, he was already hanging out with Superman.
Yeah. See, that movie.
Right.
That movie could be considered canon.
I liked that movie more than other people liked that movie.
It was pretty good. I thought.
I didn't hate it.
Well, yeah.
I didn't hate it. Everybody's like, it was bad. I was like, you know what? I'll take it. It was entertaining. I had a good time.
Yeah. But so apparently he's in the lead running. So we'll see if Armie Hammer becomes Bruce Wayne. I think he could probably pull it off. But
sure.
At least from my perception, I don't know the guy, but I feel like you don't get as much baggage.
Dear personal friend, Armie Hammer.
Yo, Armie! Yo, Arm!
Arm? No, Arm.
I feel like he comes with considerably less baggage than Ben Affleck does.
He does? Poor Ben Affleck. I know, I was like, no! That was very very upsetting.
Oh, when he got cast?
Yes, I was so upset.
Yeah, that really fucked up a lot of people.
Yeah, it really upset me.
That was quite.
And then he was a pretty good. I thought he was all right. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't the worst part of any of those movies.
No, well, a lot of things were bad about this.
A lot of things, but he was not the worst part of it.
Yeah, there was a lot.
I didn't think he was bad.
I think just the movies overall were not good, and they should have been better.
I really want them to lean into like old man Batman. Give me a John Hamm.
We do a Batman Beyond or something. That'd
be so fucking great, even with an even older guy.
Yeah, I'm
trying to think of who would be a really good older guy.
Liam Neeson. He's already raged.
Just Irish Batman for
well, you would have to because Liam
Neeson doesn't even fucking try. He's like, I'm not covering this accent because I can't. So I'm just gonna be. I spent a lot of time with Alfred over in Ireland after my parents were murdered.
There's your explanation.
There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. I mean, the movie probably won't come out for another 10 years.
Yeah, by then we'll all be dead. Doesn't matter.
I don't see what the point is.
Yeah, R.I.P.S.
So I guess we should take our break.
Sure.
We'll come back. We'll talk about our book for this week.
Hi, everybody. My name's Hub, and I host a show called Tighten Up the Defense, a podcast that would likely benefit from a tagline. Every week, we read either a Defenders comic book from the 70s or a New Teen Titans comic from the 80s. I give a synopsis of that comic that I have handcrafted to amuse and inform, and then my good-for-many-things brother Corey comes over and we talk about what we found interesting about the comic we just read. It's a lot of fun, and we hope you'll join us for it. Anything you'd like to add, Corey?
I like cocaine from an animal's butthole. It is. So good. It is. Paradise.
Well, Corey, I don't really think that's appropriate. We're trying to do a promotion for our podcast here.
Shut up.
Okay, fair enough. Any final thoughts?
Of course.
Well, let's hear them.
I have eaten all the beaver butt. You have eaten none. And beaver's butt is pretty good.
There you have it. Tighten Up the Defense. That's Titan. You can find it wherever podcasts are found. It's probably worth mentioning. I'm the one who does the editing. Catch the wave of the future and hang 10 on it with us. Cowabunga.
All right, we're back here in our worst collection ever with our book for this week. It is I Love You. I Love You, number 49.
Oh, man, there were 49 issues of I Love You.
Oh, there's more than that. From December 1963. This is a Charlton comic.
Oh, man, and this is a fucking brand and a half.
Because we are doing these romance comics this month. Mm-hmm. So
it's February.
And we've had this one in our collection for a while. And this is beat up to shit. Like, literally, anytime I pick it up, it sheds.
Yeah, it's kind of... I mean, it's from 1963. It has seen better days.
This is pretty goddamn old.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth anything. Cause I think where did you get this from?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Because I feel like
I honestly don't even remember where I could pick this one up.
Was it Jeffries? I feel like this has been a Jeffries book.
I don't know if I got
maybe it was a Buffalo. We didn't get it from Buffalo, did we?
No, I don't think I got it in Buffalo. I feel like I just got it. Oh no, I think I know where I got it. Remember when Earth 2 was doing that outside sidewalk sale?
Really? Is this from Earth 2?
They had some romance comics, yeah.
Really? Interesting.
This might have come from them. This also might have...
You know what? I think you might be right. I feel like
that's
that.
Right, because I don't think I got a lot of romance comics, if any, from Jeffries.
But yeah, this is a Charlton's comic. This comic ran from 1955 to 1980.
What? No.
I'm not kidding. I mean, by the time it was, by the time 1980 rolled around, it was just doing reprints.
Where can I get it? Where can I find all of them? This comic is batshit crazy, and we're gonna get into it.
Right, but this is one of the Charlton Comics. I don't know.
Charlton Comics. I have a couple other romance comics from the same publisher, and they're all really crazy, really out there. Obviously written by men trying to tell young girls how to behave.
Oh yeah, we're telling you how to do things here.
Yeah. So, basically morality lessons cloaked in comics.
That's what you want.
And that's what these are.
So this comic, the cover, I believe was owned by somebody named Betty Lim.
Yep, because she wrote her name all over it.
She wrote her name all over it.
I wonder what Miss Betty Lim is doing today.
I don't know. Yeah, Betty Lim, if you're listening, we have your comic.
We have your comic, Betty. Please tell me if you have any more in your collection. Are they in better condition?
She might be like, I just needed this last one.
She's like, my mom got rid of them. It's terrible.
Oh, she's been hunting them in landfills because
it
came from a landfill.
Yeah, it's really beat up.
But so on the cover, you have a man in a brown suit mourning.
Sitting.
The Dangerous Minds style.
Yeah, sitting backwards in a chair like he's gonna rap with some students.
He's gonna rap.
But this is before that was a thing. So he's just doing it.
Also, it's kind of weird the way his legs are drawn because
there's a couple questionable poses in this book.
Yeah,
this is not the first.
But he's sitting in a chair and a woman behind him. So he's sitting there saying, "How can I forget? How can I forget? I loved her so, and I killed her." And there's a blonde woman behind him saying, "Please, Nick, you must forget. Don't let your life end here."
Yep. And then there's like a bubble of memory.
And he's
bubble.
Looks like this is Nick, and he's crying, and he's holding a lady in his arms. It says, "Condemned to loneliness."
Oh no!
So Charlton Comics gives you more. Give you more.
Give you more.
Give you more.
Give you more. That's what it says.
So basically it starts off with a car crash.
It's that
Last Kiss.
It's that last song which Pearl Jam has covered. I don't know who did it originally.
Oh shit, I should know that.
I should know that too.
Well, you look that up.
I'm gonna look that up.
So basically, we start off when you see a car crash, and he's, we got this Nick fella, basically the image from the cover, holding his woman and his wife in his arms, Rita.
Yes.
And he's saying, basically he's commentating on this. Oh, did you find it?
Last Kiss was a song released by Wayne Cochran in 1961. Failed to do well. He re-recorded it and re-released it 1963. And then it was later revived by J. Frank Wilson and the Cavaliers, Pearl Jam, and other artists. But everybody knows this song. It's the one about the lady who dies.
Where
can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. That song.
So
I used to love that song when I was a kid because my parents used to hear it on the oldies channel. And I was like 5, and I'm like, can't wait to hear that again.
Oh, that's the thing. Back in the day, I grew up in the same kind of thing too. My parents listened to the oldies all the time. So a lot of those songs.
Oh, they're great.
Like, that's pretty much the
until I was about 8, maybe. That's pretty much all I listened to.
Yeah, I didn't really I knew of other music.
Yeah, I knew of Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah, I knew of pop songs, and I knew of rock songs or whatever, but it wasn't until I was maybe 10.
Yeah.
I didn't really actually watch MTV, so that's when I started understanding all this other music and stuff. I knew of bands.
Sure.
Because I had, metalhead cousins or, rock and roll cousins.
Right.
That wore half shirts and shit with bands on them.
Yeah.
So that was but I was pretty much my mom listened to Oldies 104. In
it
Buffalo.
Was cool 105 out here.
Yeah, listening to that, you listen to,
and that's all my parents ever listened to.
So he's holding his wife in his arms, and so there's a car accident, obviously, and and he's we get a lot of this guy Nick kind of commentating on it.
He's very upset, but my favorite is the drunk guy who hit them. So Nick is very clear about the fact that he is going the speed limit and he is in his own lane.
Yeah.
And then he gets hit by this drunk, and this drunk guy.
Look at this crash. Are we looking at the top view of the crash?
Yes.
Woof.
And head-on collision, whatever. And this guy's really drunk. And he is just like, why are you worried about it? You got insurance. This woman is dead.
Well, he's like, we got insurance, and I had to look for my match for my cigar. Blah.
Yeah, that's and totally the same as your dead wife.
So this guy is, it's funny because this
We've both been inconvenienced today. I couldn't find my match. Your wife died. Same thing.
You're now a widower, and your child is now motherless.
That's right, because they have a baby.
They have a brand new baby, and it was like, oh, we have to go out, but now she's dead.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I like this guy's cigar kind of look like it exploded.
It really does.
Like it comically exploded.
It's like he hit it on the steering wheel.
Or it's like it just like he lit it and went poof, So, and then then we're in the hospital.
So the coroner comes and she's dead on arrival. Basically, she's dead at the scene. So the coroner comes and they take her to the hospital. And he's like, "I wouldn't leave the body, and I just hung out with it in the hospital, in the ambulance, at the scene until they finally made me leave."
Yeah,
and so he leaves, and the drunk guy's still there, and he just like starts fighting him in the hospital.
Oh yeah. Well, I like the way he keeps the way it's drawn here.
He tries to slap this guy's tie off.
That's basically what he's doing. Like he's punching the guy in like you're supposed to think he's punching the guy in the chin, but it looks like he's just kind of like making his tie go wee.
Yeah, it looks like he went to hit him and missed and just whacked his tie instead.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "That's when I, after they gave me a sedative, and that's when they discovered I had like 2 broken ribs and a broken arm or something." Yeah. Whatever. And then he just like lays around being like, "My wife is dead. She's dead." And everybody's like, "Hey." He's like, "I've got nothing to live for." And they're like, "Actually, you have like a 6-week-old baby at home that you kind of need to take care of." He's like, "Fuck the child."
Pretty much.
Find me a woman to take care of this baby because I can't possibly do it.
So just as
luckily, dead wife has living sister.
That sounds like an Onion article.
Well, luckily, dead wife has living sister.
Yeah,
it does actually.
So real quick, I just wanted to point something because I saw this online on Twitter, and somebody reposted it as a clickhole thing. And it's like, folks, get ready to be sad. This man works for a website. It's just a picture of a guy in front of a
what did I see this today? And it was just like, like deeply embarrassed man stands stock still as acquaintance zips up his backpack. The quote is like, "Hold on, buddy, let me get that for you." It's a picture of a guy zipping another guy's backpack. I love the Onion.
But pretty much, so this guy's just sitting here, and thankfully, so these guys in the hospital, and this woman shows up, and she's like, "Hey, you don't remember me very much, but like, I'm like Rita's sister, Louisa, and I've already fed the baby." And he's like,
"Yeah, I'm here to give up my own life as a young woman, to take care of your baby forever." And he's like, "You look so much like her." And so they like go home, and he's just like anger smoking.
Oh yeah,
he's just like pissed off.
There's a lot of like close smoking.
All he does is just glare and smoke. Yeah. And so he's like mad because she's like good to the kid and like looks like the wife. He's like, "You know what? Fuck this. You keep that fucking baby forever. I'm running off to Venezuela."
Again, this ties in with the other Charlton comic we read, where the woman hater, the one where the man, she was like, "Oh, you're a man hater," because her father.
Oh, that's right. He went to Venezuela to work and never came back.
South America and never came back.
Oh shit! Is she that baby?
No,
that's a boy. Oh man, they have the same story.
Charlton.
Dad's gonna run off to Venezuela. Either that, or like one of the guys who wrote this was like really working through some issues about his dad running off to Venezuela when he was a child.
So much
Venezuela.
There is so much drug muling going on in these comics. This guy
and blonde killer men, murderers,
serial murderers, and
dudes doing drug mules for Venezuela.
Drug mules.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
And so he goes to Venezuela and he meets up with who you said is
fat Gomez Adams, because he looks just like Gomez Adams except he's fat.
He does look like Gomez.
He's even wearing like the striped suit like Gomez wears.
Oh, is that Paul Bearer?
Yeah, Yeah, that could also be pallbearer.
Undertaker, put these drugs up your ass. Oh, yes, they will never look up there.
Well, I mean, considering the Undertaker was that was a very good pallbearer, by the way.
My Undertaker is a corpse who has drugs stuffed in it.
That's exactly
and
what I was
he comes
say.
alive to tombstone the wrestlers.
He comes alive to tombstone law enforcement.
Big boss man, watch out! You're going to get tombstoned by the Undertaker, and he has drugs up his ass.
Well, you wouldn't even have to put him up his ass, because since he is a dead man, you could just
fill every hole of him.
You could just open his body cavity and be like, we're embalming him, but you're just stuffing him with cocaine.
How great would it have been if the Undertaker got body slammed and a bunch of drugs came out of his body?
Oh my god, would it be even funnier? The Undertaker... the Undertaker...
Oh god, that man had drugs in him.
The Undertaker gets body slammed, and he literally explodes, and cocaine just fills the air.
Cocamania.
Cocamania.
Oh man, and all the wrestlers come to the ring and snort it.
What if he
and
fell...
That's the last time wrestling happened.
What if he fell through the top of that cage with Mick Foley, and he just became powder?
Because his body's entirely cocaine.
All cocaine. Just with that Liam Neeson
Callis,
skin.
The Undertaker is entirely made of cocaine.
He's dead and stuffed full of it because he's a drug mule, and then he's covered in that skin Liam Neeson made in Dark Man.
Oh, okay. Oh, Liam Neeson's in this too. Great.
Yeah, Liam Neeson's there too. I'm sure
Liam Neeson also supplied the coke that he did when he started... Because he stole it from that guy.
Oh, that's right. That was also part of Cold Pursuit when he steals the cocaine and he's opening it and it's just blowing in his face.
And he somehow does not get completely fucking wired.
And he's rubbing it all over because he's trying to get it out of his face. It's just making it worse.
Yeah. You just gotta let it be, man.
Or just don't stand downwind, Liam Neeson. But okay.
Okay, so this guy's in Venezuela for a couple of years.
Yeah, and he's I worked 24 hours a day. He's not there that long because he comes back to visit his kid. His kid's a toddler, 2 maybe?
Right.
Looks like he's about to. This guy becomes Polly Walnuts in the span of 18 months. He gets the wings.
Oh, Polly Walnuts.
That's just probably cocaine.
Oh, he just put the cocaine in his hair.
He just put the cocaine in his hair.
Look, I couldn't fit any more up my ass. I go with my hair.
I just use it pomade or pomade or pomade or it's just gel. Just cocaine gel.
I just imagine this guy getting up in the morning and be like, oh where can my baby be? Looking in the mirror, just putting cocaine in his hair,
singing that song.
Oh, he's singing that song. Yeah, the song came out around that time. He's like, oh man, this song really speaks to me.
The song is strangely about my life.
It's talking about my life. So is this comic. What's going on?
So
is that the Undertaker?
So he's I gotta take my cocaine hair and I'm going back to the States to visit my kid for a week.
We visit this kid who somehow has a spine problem?
This child has spina bifida. Or
he's doing
he's sashaying.
He is sashaying.
This kid is going to be divine in a few years. I think that's what happens. He grows up to be divine and work with John Waters.
Okay, that's the story we're going with here. Yep.
That's what I'm going with because this kid is just model walking with this hip movement.
I don't know what it is. Also, he's wearing a skirt.
It kind, yeah. I mean, it kind of just maybe he has polio. I don't know.
Well, back then, everybody had polio. I mean, they figured out that everybody got the vaccine. Maybe his surrogate mom's an anti-vaxxer.
No, I don't even know if it was available for everybody back then, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, you've been reading all the disease books.
I know. I got to get my disease books going on.
Anyway, so Polly Walnuts gets, she's like, look, you're, well, this is, okay. She picks him up from the airport.
Uh-huh.
And we gotta keep moving with this book, but there's just a lot of random ass stupid parts in this.
This is true.
Where she picks him up from the airport, and she's like, okay, well you're a man, you're the man of the house, so you drive. And he's like, I can't drive because, oh where could my baby be?
Right, I don't drive anymore. How we got around in Venezuela, I don't know.
Well, Gomez
walked.
You rode around in the pallbearer's hearse.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then there's just a lot of stuff of him, this girl Louise or whatever. She's like, you're being a dick, and he's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm so sad.
Yeah. And she's like, hey, she calls him a sourpuss, but she wanted to call him a pussy. Because she's like, what's wrong with you? You're being a sourpuss. Your wife wouldn't be happy because you're just letting this ruin you. And he's like, I am Polly Walnuts now. Go get me a velour tracksuit. And so he's like, well, I'll go stay at the neighbor's house.
Me and Tony have to go bury Ralphie Cifaretto's head
I'm going to do that.
in a field.
You hang out with the kid. And she's like, no, dude, I've been hanging out with this kid for 2 fucking years. I'm going to go eat dinner by myself.
Not even my goddamn kid.
Yeah, it's not even my kid. I would like to go shopping and not see your stupid kid. So he's like, oh, I guess I could take care of it. So he
makes him a hot dog.
And then the next, he's like, everything's going real good until the next morning when he runs out of milk. And that's a drawing of him looking at this empty milk bottle. He literally has it he's holding it by the top and it's right in front of his face and he's just staring at it inches from his nose.
Is he trying to fill it with his tears?
Yes, he is. I think he is. Actually, it's kind of close to his hair, so maybe he's trying to get his cocaine to go in there. He's like, it's white. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so there's a big crisis because the kid needs to eat.
And the kid wants milk and he's crying because he sucks. He's a child. Instead of just being like, eat fucking toast, kid. He has to go to the store.
I don't know if he's not old enough for toast.
He's old enough for toast. That kid's on solids. He's like, oh no, I have to go to the store, but no one is around to drive me. I'm going to have to drive myself.
Yeah, somehow this turns into this guy trying to drive. It's like a story about a man who overcomes his fear of his trauma of driving. And then, then he goes...
Then he comes back and he's like, oh, you did this on purpose. And the sister's making him eggs or something. And he's like, man, just like a broad doing this, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, okay, I'm going to just be a great mother and an all around wonderful person. And then he's like, you know what? You're a good mom. I've decided I love you. Let's get married. She's like, yay. And that's the end of this.
Well, then we end on a creepy thing of this kid. So they're kissing.
Oh, yeah.
And then the kid's in the back.
That kid's a voyeur.
Yeah, he's like.
That's his kink. It's like, I like to watch.
I like to see my parents.
I love watching
my sort of parents.
My sort of parents gonna fuck. So that's it. That shitty man overcame his fear of driving and married his dead wife's sister.
The end.
The end.
So let's jump to the next one. The next one is I Would Not See.
So basically, the gist of this entire story is this girl is dating a blind guy, but she doesn't know if she can love a blind guy.
Uh-huh.
And so all she does is try to figure out if she can love a blind guy.
Yeah, it's basically
and that's all it does for about 5 pages.
Well, at one point she has this fever dream where she can't, she's just laying in bed being like, blind man, I don't know.
But she's already dating him.
Well, she's not sure. I don't know. Just a lot of
she's hanging out with him. She likes him a lot, but he's blind, so she doesn't know. So
well, I guess
that's all it is. That's all this whole fucking story is.
We don't know anything about this guy's blindness and how.
We don't know anything about any of these characters. If this guy is blind and she's not, and they don't know. And
well, apparently he's he might not be always blind.
Yeah, he's kind of blind. He's the kind of blind that gets fixed at the end of the story, so don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. You can.
But she's gonna
fix some blindness, guys.
Go through all this shit until she gets to the end. Because I'm just skipping over this whole story. Because, this is it.
Well, they go to the beach. There's this part where they go to the beach, and she's like, I'm really into it, or where I'm like, I don't know what's going on, and he's like, well, let me feel your face, and she's like, oh man.
Do you think he's doing that creepy thing that John Travolta does in Face Off?
Oh, when he just walks
the waterfall over people's faces.
Isn't that just like John Travolta in general?
I don't know. He made it up for the movie. I don't know if he actually does that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Isn't that shoot John Travolta?
Yeah,
just going around touching people's faces.
Is that what this guy's doing? He's just waterfall on people's faces.
So at one point she's like, oh darling, you mustn't say how beautiful I am.
You can't see me. Is that why she can't be with this guy? She's like, I'm so beautiful, and this guy can't appreciate my true beauty.
Yeah,
so
I think there's that.
I think there's a little bit of that going on.
I think just part of that, you know.
I'm
but she
just
doesn't want
vain.
You know, and then at one point she says like, "Oh, we mustn't fall in love," and he's like,
"But I already love you."
No, he gets like pissed. He's like, "Oh, well, how dare you say that?" And then he just walks off.
Yeah,
just walks along the beach. Because they're there with like their other couple or whatever.
Yeah, it's like friends or something.
Friends or whatever. I thought for a second, I was like, wait, is he his ride? Did she drive him there and he's just walking away and like, just like, he can't drive?
Yeah, that's also the weird thing about this, because this guy's blind and there's no, like, you know, seeing cane. There's no dog.
He's got cane. She talks about his white cane a bunch.
But we don't see him with it.
Yeah, we do.
Is he walking away with it at the beach?
Yeah.
Where?
Right there. See, there's a cane.
Oh, okay, good. Because in the other picture, it doesn't look like he has it.
At the very beginning, she's like, "Oh my God, his cane."
Oh yeah, no, that I see. But at the beach, it looks like he's walking away without it. That one right there.
Oh, he's got a cane. Well, this here he doesn't.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna walk down this beach that I've barely ever been to without my cane or my dog.
Oh, where can my cane be? So she, and then he's just being a, you know, she's like, oh my God, I do love him and I need to make him feel better. Or I need to get back with him. And
I should stop being such a shallow bitch.
Yeah, and then she calls him and he kayfabes her and
yeah,
you know, and then eventually.
But don't worry. Apparently, between like the time they were at the beach and the time she called him on the phone, he had surgery that he didn't tell anybody about.
Yeah, he got some special surgery.
So he wasn't like talking about it before with like his friends, telling him that, oh man, this might work. No, don't worry. He got special surgery and he can see her and oh, she's so beautiful. He's not blind anymore. The end.
Why is he still wearing the glasses?
Maybe his eyes are all fucked up because they're still healing.
Oh man, what if he's got like...
It's uber LASIK. I don't know.
they cut out my eyeball.
Ugh, no. I have donor irises or something. I don't know.
What if he just takes off his glasses, just got googly eyes? He's like, ah! I can see! Ah!
Like Cookie Monster eyes?
Yeah, he's like, I can finally see. She's like, oh my God, oh no!
That'd be awesome if he just like Cookie Monster eyes.
And then the next story is like, can I love a man with googly eyes?
And every page just has googly eyes glued on it.
Ooh, nice.
Oh my God, let's do that. That's amazing.
We'll just glue some googly eyes onto this guy.
Yes. Every freaking panel. I love it.
So here's I guess is this the longest one of this? I think
it's like the end too.
The main event of this one's called Charlton Comics Give You More. Postponed Love.
Yes. It's about this woman
basically
who loves this guy, but this guy is like, we can't get married right now because I have to do insert thing here.
Yeah, basically he every time he's like, you know what?
Oh wait, no, I got to do something else.
I got like,
but it like takes me away. Like I have to go like train.
I have to go do war.
Does he go to Venezuela? I would not be surprised if he goes to Venezuela.
You know, I am surprised. Yeah, I'm so shocked that he didn't end up in Venezuela like the rest of Charlton Comics.
And he has a friend who is a blonde man who must be the murderer.
Oh yeah. He's back. Yeah. So we got what's her name? This is so Dick is her boyfriend.
That's right.
And
I forget the boyfriend's friend's name.
Beverly
is her
girl.
name.
The friend's name is
not Dick.
Cunt.
Not Dick.
Or something. Carl.
Close enough.
Carl. And he, so basically he's about to tell her something, and then Carl shows up and he's like, hey!
Yeah, they're like...
We're going to war!
Yeah, it's literally the beginning of every war movie ever, except neither Carl nor Dick die.
No, they don't. And
they don't get captured. Nobody has to go save them from the Germans. Nothing.
Yeah, so she's like, look, you know, I have to go to war, but like when I come back, you know, we're going to be together. And then their faces meld together. Like,
yeah.
You see that there? Like their faces
become... gross. There's no line there. They really do.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Gross.
And then they come back from war. She's like, you know, then they decide to like hook up Carl with a lawyer woman.
Oh, yeah.
But the lawyer girl is like, you know what? I don't want to get married. I'm just ready to. I just want to fuck.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of scenes here where the women are, basically the friend is telling this Beverly like, hey, this your husband or your buddy, your dude is not gonna like marry you because he's not into marriage like you thought he is.
Yeah, he wants to just be like single.
He's single.
He likes sexy romances.
This guy comes up, this dick guy is like, she's like, oh my God, I really want, because they're at this dance and this woman tells her that, and she's like, this Beverly's like, oh, I really want to, get married. I want to be with him. I want to be with him. And then the dick shows up. He's like, hey, I got good news. I'm leaving again.
Yeah. Because he's going to train for a job or something.
I'm going to the coast.
I'm assuming to Venezuela.
And then he lights a cigarette in her face.
Yeah. Because that's what you do. And she's like, don't you want to stay with me? And he's like, don't worry, babe. I just got to do this thing. So she watches his plane leave. And then he sends her a letter where he's like, you know what? I'm going to stay and take this job. Glad you wasted your life. Bye.
Yep.
And so she's just like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to be alone forever. And I'm just wear this weird hat. And
yeah, it is a weird hat. It's like a Bray Wyatt hat.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Dick Tracy hat. Like she's gonna start solving crimes, which actually wouldn't be too bad.
Oh man, she's like, you know what?
Because this is where the romance novel usually starts.
Yeah. Oh, what, when she's solving crimes?
No, when everything is left and now it's time for her to like do something else, and then she meets the dude she actually has.
Gotcha.
The sex with.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So don't worry. Her friend is a pain in the ass and like, stop wearing that stupid hat and come to my lawn party because it's my birthday. And
come on my lawn.
You've been hiding over here too long. And she's like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, no, you have to come by. So she goes and
I invited this blonde serial killer.
The blonde serial killer's there, and he's like, hey, I'm that guy's friend, but don't worry about it. I like you.
And she's like, yeah, she's sitting there thinking like, oh yeah, he's like much nicer than my shitty friend, my shitty dick. And so
they started hanging out.
And
he's grabbing her face weird.
Oh yeah.
He's doing some face grabbing.
Oh, they're doing some swimming.
They're swimming, they're going for night walks, which that'll just get you killed.
Yeah.
They're drinking out of a can. I'm assuming together because there's only one can.
Oh yeah. She's like, honey, let's share this can of Dr. Pibb, or whatever.
And then finally they kiss, and they're like, oh my God, I love him. But guess what? Our buddy Dick shows back up, and he's like, me in town. Hey, babe, you want to get married?
Literally, he gets off the bus and he just goes, hey, my girl, the girl that I sent a letter to telling her
I haven't spoken to you in months.
Yeah, let's get married, like right now.
Yeah.
And
this is the worst booty call. Because instead of just getting to fuck, you actually have to marry the guy.
Yeah, I know. It's like booty calls back in the 60s were like, you had to get full on married.
Yeah, not only that, but
full on betrothed.
All of these comics, like, these people barely speak to each other most of the time. And then they're like, hey, I know we only met like 2 panels ago, but you want to get married? And they're like, yes, I love you. And you're like, you don't even know that guy's last name. What are you doing? Do you know his middle name? Do you know his favorite color? Have you met his mother?
Oh yeah, there's no mother meeting.
Nothing. They're just gonna get married.
They're
like,
not.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's how it worked back then.
Well, because people didn't live together if they weren't married. I don't think. I think that's.
I mean, some people probably did, but it was looked down.
Oh, that was back. That was in the San Francisco and the crazy hippie cities.
Yeah,
we're all living together and not Don Draper's showing up, looking down upon you, whatever. So she's like, "Oh my God, guys, let's get married," and she's like, "Oh shit, I don't want to get married," but then. She ended up getting married to this other guy.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So she's like...
And he was the best man.
Yeah. She was like, that guy who totally jerked me around for many years came back just in time to be the best man at my wedding.
And that's how that ends.
Yep. That's the book.
That is I Love You from... what did I say this was?
1963?
Yeah, but what issue number? 49.
49.
Want to make sure we got that right. So I Love You, number 49 from December 1963. Would you want to read the next issue of this?
I want to read all of them because they're just ridiculous.
It's a product of its time. Look how much it sheds.
Yeah, it sheds everywhere. We need to vacuum now because it's like we've got old comic all over the floor.
Ew, old comic.
Gross.
Ugh.
Needs to go back in its bag before it just disintegrates.
It might turn into coke like the Undertaker.
Yeah, it just might.
No, well, all these comics are maybe they're trying to tell. Maybe Charlton's trying to tell us something like these comics are actually made of coke because all of our characters go to Venezuela.
Yes.
To do the drug war.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week's show. Thanks for listening. You can find myself on Twitter and Instagram at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. Yes, I reactivated my Twitter because I'm an asshole. You can find us on Facebook, Worst Collection Ever, and email the show, worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
And please rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get this show. And tell your friends. That would be really cool if you did that. So thanks again for listening, folks. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.